Yeah, there you go, friends. Doc South here. And I'd say for the last 2 weeks or so, I've been looking at my, you know how on your dash panel, there's a little thing there that says, hey, your tires are low. Okay. The air pressure's low on your tires. Get it fixed and all that. And, at which point, you stop the car, you get out and you look and, gee, do I got a flat or what? What's going on here? And then it hit me because I pulled over, I got out of the car, I looked and I said, geez, the tires don't look that bad. Crying out loud. Jeez. And so I get back in the car and I'm driving down the road, and again, the light was off for a bit and then it comes on. And I said, you know what it might be? Gee, I never thought of this, and this was maybe six or 7 days ago. I said, I'll bet you the air's getting colder. The summer's over. The tire pressure's getting low. There's not enough heat on the road to necessarily keep that pressure boogieing. And so I said, you know what I'm going to have to do? I'll have to stop somewhere and get a little bit of air pressure into the tires. That's got to be it. And but the trouble was my schedule at work had me going in some cases before the gas stations were necessarily open, or after they closed, or I had to get somewhere else quick, and the tires didn't look that bad after all, so okay, I'll do it tomorrow, kind of thing. Went through my head. And so, long story short, after about 2 weeks of this, I guess it must have been yesterday, I said, that's it. I'm going to stop at a gas station that has the air pump. I've got my thermometer, my gauge that'll tell me how much air pressure I need. I'll take care of it. Yeah, there you go. Maybe wherever the place is, if they have free air rather, not free gas, but free air, I'll stop there, get $10 worth of gas, and they'll most likely be happy to show me where the air pump is, and I'll take care of business. I had everything I needed, and I said I better be careful because I don't want to be driving too long and then do it, because I'm going to let too much air out of I might let too much air out of the tires or whatever. I might goof it up somehow. Well, so today was the day. I saw a gas station up where I work that had indeed had an air pump. I said, there, I'll stop there. I got $10 in my pocket. I'll buy gasoline, and then I'll ask them if I can use their air pump, and bingo, be on my way. Either adjusting the air in my tires so that they're not overfilled or underfilled. We'll make them just right. And so I after work, I pull into the gas station. Hey, can I need $10 worth of gas? Yes, sir. Here you go. I said, hey, do you have your air pump over there? Is that working? And the guy says, what, you need air in your well, I said, I need to adjust it because it's been summer. I'm not sure if also my little tire gauge is on, and I feel like something might be up. Either I'm low on air or what. I have no idea. Maybe because it's gotten cooler, things have, the air is compressed a little bit. It's not compressed, but it's, just kind of lost some of its oomph. The guy says, well, there's one way to find out is you go over there and you put air in the tire, see how it goes. Well, as luck would have it, after I get the gas, give the guys $10. I go over to the air pump from the gas pump, and there's a guy there, nice young fella, much younger than I am, but still, I'm guessing maybe in his 20s. And I said, hey, they told me that you could maybe help me get some air into my tires now that summer's over. The guy says, hey, no problem. He says, you're always here getting gas and stuff. He says, in fact, I'll do it for you. Because, let me see. He says, I've got a good gauge here. Let's check your tires. He goes around checking them, and let me see now how that got put. He said, your air pressure is all different tires are acting up, but none of them are leaking. He says, I'm looking at it. They're fine as far as that goes. They just need to be adjusted a little bit for this time of year. And he says, and he starts using the gauge. He says, okay, this one needs about 3 pounds. This one needs about 3. This one maybe 4. I said, they need to go up a bit. He says, yeah, because it's getting colder now. You need a little more air in. In the summer, the heat of the summer makes the tires a little bigger. But now that it's cooler, yeah. He says, let me look now. He says, let's get the gauges out. And, this is now up to about 15 minutes he's working with and nothing but a big old smile on his face. And he says, okay, all done. There you go. See ya. And I said, well, wait a minute, can I? I said, here, I got some money. You just did a fair amount of work. Let me just pay you. He says, no. He says, I've seen you in the store. He says, you're a pretty good guy. You're always helping people. He says, let me return the favor. I've adjusted your tires so they're all perfect. They'll be fine now that the weather's changed. They've got the right pressures in them for the temperatures you'll be dealing with through winter and all that. He says, I absolutely don't want your money. Just go have a ball. I said, you're sure? I said, I don't always have money. He says, well, yeah, I imagine, but he says, like me, you work in a store. Maybe it's good now and then people help each other out. You're always showing me in the store where different things are, where a bargain is and all that. He says, you're always trying to help. My turn to help you. Bingo. No. I said, well, you're sure? He says, yep, absolutely. Okay. I said, well, gosh, thank you. Now, wasn't that nice? How often wouldn't that be a great way to do your business with people? Help them one way, be of help, and perhaps get some help. And even if you don't get some help, at least you've done something at one time in your life to help a person. I don't know. I like the concept. Anyway, I thought I'd say your opinion would be welcome, and I'll catch you later. In a way, I guess these videos, get right down to it, are my adjusting your air pressure free of charge. In a way, I never ask for money for these things, and I don't want it. In fact, I'd feel funny if someone paid me for these videos. I'm much happier doing them and letting people see them, like them or not like them, but at least enjoy them. And perhaps if I can give someone 4 or 5 minutes of a happy moment each day doing these things, cool. Happy to do it. Okay. Anyway, thought I'd say, you might want to think of something you can do. And it doesn't have to be a big deal. Maybe every month you make cookies for the people in the office. Or, I don't know. Maybe you got a good football bat. You tell everybody about it. You see what I'm saying. Something that's kind of up your alley that you can do to make things just a little bit better for even if it's 1 or 2 people. And, spread the word around. Anyway, I thought I'd say, God bless. Doc South signing off. Now let me see, how do I stop this thing here? Gosh, you try this one.